Everyone thinks you need to be the loudest person in the room to be the most powerful. Everyone thinks you need to talk over people, interrupt, dominate, and conversations to matter. But that's not the real power. That's desperation. That's insecurity disguised as confident. So, what is real power? Real power is silent. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. And that's what we are talking about today. Hey guys, my name is Swati and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are talking about the silence method and how the quietest people in the room are actually dominating everything without saying a word. So, without saying a word, let's get right into the topic. I'm going to say something you probably already know but never thought about it. The loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. Think about every meetings you have been in, every social gathering, every conversation. Who is doing all the talking? Is the person who is desperate to be heard. Is the person who afraid if they stop talking, people will forget they exist. They are filling the silence with noise because they can't handle the discomfort of just being. But the person who sits back, the person who absorbs, who listens, who only speak when they have something valuable to say, that's the person everyone actually paying attention to. That's the person who holds the real power. And here is why. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It makes people nervous. When you are silent, people start projecting onto you. They start wondering what you are thinking. They start assuming you are analyzing them, judging them, seeing through them. And you know what? Most of the time, they are right. Because when you are not busy running your mouth, when you are not desperately trying to prove yourself, you actually see things. You see the dynamics in the room. You see who is pretending, who is authentic, who is trying too hard, who is genuinely confident. You see the power plays, you see the insecurities, you see everything that people who are too busy talking completely miss. Silence is observation. Silence is strategy. Silence is power. And most people are terrified of it. That's why they fill every gaps with words, with jokes, with stories that doesn't matter. Because silence forces you to be comfortable with yourself. And most people aren't. Most people hate being alone with their own thoughts. They hate the quiet because it makes them face who they really are. But when you master silence, when you become comfortable in it, when you use it intentionally, you become untouchable. Okay, let me break it down for you because this isn't about being shy. This isn't about being scared to speak. This is about strategic silence. This is about understanding that your words have more weight when you are not throwing them around carelessly. Think about the most powerful people you know, the most respected people, the people who actually get things done. They don't talk just to fill space, just to fill gaps. They don't explain themselves constantly. They don't need to convince everyone of their worth. They speak when it matters. They speak when they have something valuable to add. And when they speak, people listen. Everyone listen. Because scarcity creates values. When you are always talking, your words become noise. When you are selective with your words, they become important. Your silence intimidates people more than your words ever could. Because when you are silent, you are unpredictable. People can't figure you out. They can't put you in a box. They can't manipulate you because you are not giving them anything to work with. And that terrifies insecure people. That threatens people who are used to controlling conversation, controlling narratives, controlling you. Have you ever noticed that when you go quiet in a conversation, other people start talking more? They start explaining themselves. They start justifying things. They start revealing information they never planned to share. That's not coincidence. That's the power of silence. You are not doing anything, but you are controlling the entire dynamic just by not speaking. Let me give you some real examples because this isn't theory. This is something you can use right now, today, immediately. In meetings at works, in negotiation, in conflicts, or in any social situation, next time someone asks you a question or challenges you or try to provoke you, don't rush to respond. Just pause. Let the silence sit there for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or even longer. And then watch what happens. Watch them get uncomfortable. Watch them start backtracking or explaining or trying to fill the gaps. You just gain the upper hand without saying a single word. When someone talking to you, not with you, when they are going on and on, trying to impress you or convince you of something, don't react. Just listen. Just absorb. Let them exhaust themselves. And when they finally stop, when they finally ask you, you think say less than they expect. Give them one clear thought. Watch how much more impact it has than if you had matched their complete energy. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking this sounds cold. You are thinking this sounds antisocial. But it's not what it is. This isn't about being rude. This isn't about ignoring people or being dismissive. This is about being intentional. This is about respecting your own energy enough to not waste it on conversation that don't matter, on people who don't value you, on situation where talking won't change anything. Because silence is a boundary. Silence says, I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you an entertainment. I don't owe you my thoughts just because you are uncomfortable with quiet. And that's power. That's self-respect. Because here is the truth. When you are constantly talking, constantly explaining, constantly trying to be heard, you are giving away your power. You are seeking validation. You are proving yourself to people who don't even matter. But when you are silent, when you are comfortable just being, you are keeping your power. You are making people come to you instead of chasing them. Let me tell you what happens when you actually start using strategic silence. First, people start respecting you more. They stop taking you for granted. They stop assuming they can walk all over you. Because silence creates mystery. It creates boundaries. It signals that you are not desperate for connection, for approval, for attention. And that automatically makes you more valuable in people's eyes. Second, your words carry more weight. When you are not constantly talking, when people know you only speak when you have something real to say, they actually listen. They actually pay attention. They stop being background noise and you become someone worth hearing. Third, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop getting dragged into pointless arguments. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. You become more selective, more intentional, more powerful in how you show up. Here is something people don't want to hear, but that's true. People who talk the most usually have the least to say. They are filling the space with noise because they are afraid of being forgotten, afraid of being overlooked, afraid that if they stop performing, People will realize they are not that interesting. But you are not those people. You don't need to perform. You don't need to convince anyone your worth. You know your value, and that's why you can afford to be quiet. The people who truly understand power, who truly understand influence, they know that silence is a weapon. It's a tool. It's a form of communication that's often more effective than words. Because silence says, I am confident enough to not fill every gap. I am secure enough to let moment breathe. I am strong enough to sit in discomfort while everyone else scrambles to make it go away. You guys might be asking, so Swati, how do you actually start using this? How do you become someone who dominates through silence instead of noise? So it starts with awareness. Just like everything else, start noticing when you are talking just to fill space. Start noticing when you are explaining yourself unnecessarily. Start noticing when you are trying to prove something that doesn't need proving. And then stop. Just stop. Let the silence sit there. Get comfortable with it. Practice pausing before you respond. When someone asks you something, count to 3 in your head before answering. This does two things. It gives you time to think, to respond thoughtfully instead of reactively. And it signals to the other people that you are not desperate to please them, that you considered your words carefully, that you have self-control. And that's power. And that's very much powerful. Start listening more than you talk. And I mean really listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. When you truly listen, you pick up things other people miss. You understand the subtext. You read between the lines. And that information becomes power. Because you know things other people don't. You see patterns other people are blind to see. And when you do speak, you speak from a place of understanding, not assumptions. Here is something beautiful about mastering silence. You stop caring about being misunderstood. You stop needing everyone to get you, because you know that people will project whatever they want onto your silence anyway. Some will think you are confident. Some will think you are arrogant. Some will think you are wise. Some will think you are cold. And you know what? None of it matters. Because you are not performing for them. You are performing for just being you. You are not seeking their validation. You are just being. And that freedom, that liberation from needing everyone to understand you, to approve you, to validate you, that's when you step truly into your power. That's when you become someone who dominates room without saying a word. Because your presence is enough. Your energy is enough. You are enough. At the end of the day, the people who talk the most are usually the people who desperate to be seen. But the people who are truly seen, truly respected, truly powerful, they don't need to announce it. They don't need to prove it. They just are. And everyone feels it. Everyone knows it. So stop trying to fill every silence. Stop explaining yourself. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. Stop talking just because you are uncomfortable with quiet. Start using silence as the tool it is. Start understanding that sometimes the most powerful things you can say is nothing at all. You don't need to be the loudest person to be the most powerful. You don't need to dominate conversation to dominate rooms. You just need to master yourself. You just need to be so comfortable in your own skin, so secure in your own worth, that silence becomes your superpower instead of something you are afraid of. That's it for today, guys. You already know I am going to posting my video every Sunday, Monday and Friday, so make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you won't miss any of my uploads. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope this helped, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye. I love you.